Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Sarah. I'm coming to you live from Center Stage here at Science World in Vancouver, British Columbia. Now I would like to get started today by acknowledging that I am here and my live studio audience is gathered on the traditional and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. We'd love to know where you're tuning in from, so let us know in the comments. And if you don't know already, take a few moments today to find out whose traditional homelands you're located on. Now, as I mentioned, I have a lovely live studio audience with me here today. Would you like to cheer and make some noise for everyone at home? Woo! Awesome. I am very excited to have all of you joining us. Do we have any ideas where people are joining us from today?
Richmond and Surrey.
Oh, very exciting. All around here in the Lower Mainland. Well, today we are doing the Science Surprises Show. Now, typically when I do a Science Surprises Show, I say it's all of my favorite demonstrations. But today, it's actually all of your favorite demonstrations. You voted, and we are going to put together a show with everything that you wanted to see, and I am super impressed. You made some excellent selections. Now I'm going to get started today by exploring some forces. And that's going to involve my assistant, Adventure Bear. That's right, you may have seen her before. She is always ready for adventure. That's why she wears the fancy jacket and her little helmet. And she is going to go right on her little platform right here. Now, Adventure Bear is going to help us explore forces using this fancy system I have right here. I've got a bowling ball and a weight. They're tied together on a string. Now, let us know, which one do you think is heavier? The bowling ball or the weight? Let's poll my audience here. Which do you think is heavier? The bowling ball or the weight? The bowling ball, you think so? What do we think from the people at home, Ashley? Which is heavier? The bowling ball, I think so. It is so heavy, in fact, I'm tired of holding it already. I'm going to throw it right over top of this bar right here. And because they're connected, you can see as the bowling ball moves down, the weight moves with it. Now there's a force here that's acting on my bowling ball that's pulling it towards the ground. Does anyone know what that force might be? How about you folks here? Do you know what force is pulling the bowling ball towards the ground? A force of gravity, absolutely. Now, what happens to be directly underneath my bowling ball? That would be Adventure Bear. Now, like I said, she is ready for adventure. She has her helmet. But I bet she doesn't want to have a great big headache today. So we are going to have a little tug-of-war of forces here. When I let go of my weight, the bowling ball is going to start being pulled towards the ground by the force of gravity. The small weight, where is that one going to go? You think it's going to go straight down? Is it going to go that way? Is it going to go up? We'll start to swing this way. It's like a kind of a pendulum happening. With the bowling ball pulling down, the weight swinging. Do you think Adventure Bear is going to end up with a headache? Flattened. You think she's going to get flattened? Does anyone agree? Is anyone concerned for Adventure Bear? Ashley is very concerned. That's okay. She's very brave. All right. We're going to see what happens in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was close. So the bowling ball pulled the weight down as it was swinging. It shortened that string, which means the weight actually started spinning faster, fast enough to wrap around that bar there and save Adventure Bear. Can we give Adventure Bear a great big round of applause for being so incredibly brave? She is a fantastic assistant. All right, I'm gonna swing my big frame out of the way here. My bowling ball wants to be a pendulum. Now the next thing that you all voted for was some color-changing chemistry. Now to have some color-changing chemistry, I'm going to use a chemical called an indicator. Let me know if you've ever used an indicator before. You might if you have a fish tank or a pool. Often people have to check the pH of the water to make sure it's safe for their fish or for them to live in. Now, bromothymol blue does something very similar. I test the pH of what you mix it with. I'm going to put a little bit in each of these beakers. And I'm going to add some water. Does anyone know where water falls on the pH scale? Is it acidic? Is it basic? It's right in the middle, right? It's neutral. So I'm going to add a little bit of that to each of my beakers. What color is the bromothymol blue? It's not very blue, is it? No, it starts out pretty green. So let's see how it changes when I add some acid. So I've brought some acetic acid today, some vinegar. It's a pretty weak acid. But it's still enough to cause the color change. Now we've seen green, we've seen yellow, but it's called bromothymol blue. So what color are we still missing? We need to get some blue. So I'm going to try adding a little bit of a base to this second flask. I've got some baking soda. So I'm going to put a little scoop in here. I'm going to swirl it to dissolve. Ah, finally, what color did we get? Our blue. So now we've seen the whole spectrum. We've seen the neutral green, the acidic yellow, and the basic blue. Now, one of the really handy things about using an indicator is that it can give you some information about what it's mixed with. So if I mix my acidic solution and my basic solution together, what do you think it's going to make? If you're watching from home, go ahead and let us know. What do you think is going to happen when I mix my acidic solution and my basic solution together? They're guessing. Okay. We have guesses. Excellent. Interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to stay blue? Raise your hand if you think it's going to stay blue. I hear a lot of greens. Okay. How about any yellows? No? Lots of greens online. Okay. I guess it's time to test it out, right? What did we get? It is green, absolutely. The acid and base neutralize each other. The reaction produces some salt and water. So we're back to where we started. Awesome. All right. I'm going to swirl this one out of my way because I couldn't get through this whole show without throwing in one of my favorite demonstrations. You guys made some really great choices, but there's still something I really wanted to show you. And it involves this cup. Now, what is inside my cup? Does anyone have any ideas? Water? What's in there? There's a few droplets of water left. I heard someone say air. Absolutely. There's air in the cup, there's air on top of the cup, and next to the cup, and on the bottom of the cup. It's all around us all the time. Something we often don't think about. Our brains have a ton of information to process, so things that are always there, we tend to filter out. But the air is actually pushing in on us all the time at about 14 pounds per square inch. It's a lot of force. It's like having my cat, or 2 regular-sized cats, sitting on you all the time. So I want to see if I can demonstrate how much pressure that is. So I'm going to start by adding a little bit of water to my cup and to my floor. So now I've got half water and half air. Now there's a force acting on my water to keep it in the cup, keep it from floating out up into the sky. Does anyone know what that force might be? Gravity, absolutely. So gravity is pulling my water down. When I flip the cup over, gravity's still gonna pull the water down. Where is it gonna go? Yeah, I definitely don't want to have to clean that up. So I'm gonna add a lid. It's a little bit big, but I think we'll still be okay. So now, when I flip it over, gravity is still pulling the water down. You can see I'm losing a bit. But the air pressure is pushing up on the lid. It's pushing up with more force than the gravity pulling the water down. Thankfully, I only have a little bit of water to clean up now. All right, back to the things that you wanted to see. Now, before I get to this last demonstration, I want to take a moment to thank everyone for joining us all summer. Having to close the building has been a financial crisis for Science World as a charity. So you can go to scienceworld.ca/donate to help ensure that we can ignite wonder and empower dreams in the future. All right, I have a very special balloon I've brought with me for this last demonstration. I'd like you to make some guesses. I want you to think if you can figure out what is so special about this balloon. It has a beautiful ribbon, of course. It's blue, it's my favorite color. What else is special about this balloon? I was guessing helium. That is an excellent guess. Helium balloons definitely float because helium is lighter than air. The gas that I have in here is lighter than air because it's floating. But it's not helium. Does anyone online have any ideas about what might be in this balloon? Ooh, that is a very interesting guess indeed. There is hydrogen in my balloon. Now, helium is a noble gas. It's very stable. It doesn't react. But hydrogen can undergo an oxidation reaction. And it does what we call an exothermic reaction. It releases a lot of energy. And I want to find out just how much energy we can release from this balloon today. Now, because I'm going to be using fire for this demonstration, I'm going to make sure that I have my fire extinguisher handy. I'm also going to be using this very long stick to make sure that I can distance from my balloon. And I'm going to be using some ear protection. This one can get quite loud. So for especially those folks joining me here at Science World, you may want to cover your ears for this one. All right. So I'm going to put a match in here. We're going to see just how much energy we can release. In 3, 2, 1. Whoa, you guys made some excellent demonstration choices today. We're definitely going out with a bang. Thank you so much for joining us on our live streams all summer. We're going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus, but check back on our Facebook page because we will be joining you again in the fall with more live science demonstrations. I'll be here for a few minutes if you have any questions, but thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you folks too for joining me and being a fantastic live studio audience today.
Do you have a favorite science demo?
A favorite science demo? I love the hydrogen balloon. It is the first exploding demonstration that I learned, and I was very excited to get to blow something up.
Some people are saying thank you for your performance today.
Oh, thank you so much for tuning in.
And do you want to tell us a fun fact about yourself?
A fun fact about myself. I am originally from Newfoundland. It is a small island way on the other side of Canada. And I moved here to Vancouver about 8 years ago.
Everyone wants to know when the next Science World show is.
The next Science World show. So if you are at Science World, you can join us at 3 o'clock for the electricity show. Otherwise, you may have to wait till the fall to see another show broadcasted from Facebook.